What's up, guys? Welcome back to Breakout Trading. Today is Monday, August 17th, and I'm going to be doing some live trading today. I got some live footage, and yeah, that I'll be playing in this video. It was all on one ticker, LODE. That turned out to be like this super weird manipulated one, and it just kind of didn't really want to move upwards at all day, even though it looked really good. So I'll be going over that in these live videos and showing you my P&L on the day. And also I got a video of a Bitcoin trade I made coming up too on this channel. So that's all. Stay tuned. Going to be attempting to take a long here. Starter with 50 shares here on LODE. If we can pull back to VWAP, we got VWAP this high and the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement. This one looks pretty good so far this morning. Right down here. So we're in there with 50 shares right now. My stop loss is going to be at 1.55. Looks like we could potentially hit that. If we get a strong bounce here, that would be really nice. Somewhat of a bounce, nothing crazy. Don't love this one right now. Might just hop out here at break even. Really didn't like how that one reacted off VWAP. I would not be surprised if we sold off here.
I'm seeing that a lot of you are having issues with thinkers.
So down about $1 on the day now just from that trade. I was hoping that it could bounce a lot harder here. It kind of had, this was its chance, this candle here, to really make some movement upwards. But now it's below VWAP and everything, so I think that this setup has gotten a lot less good looking as of now. The volume's not looking good. Alright, pretty happy with that that break-even sell there. We had a couple wicks there that tried to get back above VWAP, but the 1 minute 9 EMA took it down. So now this one is looking not too good. Okay, we got a trade plan here for LODE. The plan is to play this ascending triangle here. So I'm going to be entering here, right here. That's a tier 1 entry right there. Full size is going to be 150 shares at 180, and my stop loss is going to be at 170. Or below. So let's see, we want to see a nice big volume spike here now. I'll take away this to make sure this is all visible. So we really want to see a big volume spike and continuation from here. What I will do is I'll add the other bit of the tiers on a retest of 180, but I haven't been convinced of this one yet. Highest volume candle of the day right now. So if I can get around 4 million, over 4 million on the volume, this thing will be looking really nice. And 180's got to hold. 180 has got to hold for this thing to work. So there we go. We're getting nice volume now on this candle. I might add tier 2 if we can hold 180. We are seeing a reaction off 180. I'm going to go ahead and add tier 2 there. So now we're long 100 shares on the pullback. Maybe I should have taken a piece of profit up here, but I still like this setup. Sell half below 2, and we'll see if we can't get some continuation. Alright, I'm just going to stick with 100 shares here. That's what I'm comfortable risking. So my stop loss will be, like I said, 1.69 shares. We'll take away this so that we can have our market stop right there. We're about to push into that, I could see. Here we go. 191, 192 on the ask. So selling half there. Now we're going to cancel our stop for a split second. Come on. Okay, why is it not letting me cancel the stop? There we go. Stop loss now for the other half. I'll move that up to, I'll keep that at 170. Move that up to 175-ish area. Okay. So we're now hitting a $2 resistance. I'm going to keep this low here at 170, like where we had it before actually. And because I'm expecting a pullback now, but I think that this thing is looking good, so I do think that it could continue up. So if we can get one that's below VWAP here, that would be nice. So stop now is going to be below VWAP if we come down here. I want a nice wide stop so I don't get whipped out of this position. So stop loss is going to be down here once we're ready to go. That looks pretty good to me. That allows the 236 to act as support, as well as the 5-minute 9 EMA, VWAP, so we're having a barrier between us and our stop loss, which is good to have. So I still have my order there at 181, hasn't been filled yet. So I think I'll be risking about $20 in this trade, including all my previous gains, if this thing does fill me at 181. Okay, so filled there at 181. I'm now going to throw in my stop loss there. I don't think I'll be adding any more to this. I'll just see if this works out. So I'm long 100 shares now. My risk. So my risk right now is $21, and I'm going to leave that there. Looking for a move past $2 up to $2.50. I'll update if I either get stopped out or if this thing continues up. Alright, a little update on LODE. Looks like this thing could potentially, not getting my hopes up, pull an epic recovery. That'd be pretty sweet. So we moved our stop loss up here right below VWAP because I'm sure if this thing comes back down here it's going to break VWAP and there's going to be a big flush. But right now it looks decent, so the profit targets now stay the same. I guess we're risking a little bit less than $20 now, just because this thing did have a bit of a nasty pullback there, and the volume on this recovery isn't anything spectacular. But it looks good now, better than it did a few minutes ago. Yeah, so profit targets stay the same, above $2 up to $2.50. Going to get stopped out here. It's now breaking below that key trend line that's been acting as support all day. Yeah, so that's it. That's it there. VWAP, and it's probably going to break through. Giving it one last fucking chance. One last hoot. And there she is. Alright, stopped out there. Not too bad. Overall, loss is $7, so we lost about like 13 bucks there on that trade. It was a really nice setup, honestly. Look how nicely that trend line held. Really nice. Look at that. How many times that trend line held, and then right now it just couldn't do it anymore. So that's it. Down 7 on the day so far. Alright guys, what's up? So that is the end of the live footage. I'm now going to be going over the rest of this chart, just like an after analysis kind of thing, and answer a few questions you may have. So, for example, I was only down 7 there at the start, so why am I down 9, and why am I down overall on the day 14.64 when I should only be down about $7 is the question. So basically, I fought with LODE all day, and I have come to the conclusion that it is somehow manipulated and very weird, and I will go over how. So we have the high here of 203. Okay, so this is where you last saw the live trades. This one was dumb. This is my fault. Just a dumb scalp looking for a bounce off VWAP. And I think my mistake too for this one was the whole time I was treating this like a low float, where the float is 20 million. So it's not exactly a low float. It's going to need a lot more volume to get moving. And it's going to be more like a momentum based one, where when it gets moving in one direction, it'll just keep going. And if it never does get moving, it's not just going to start moving out of nowhere. It needs a lot of volume and a lot of momentum to get moving. And especially in this area, I should have just taken my profits here, especially against something like $2. But it looked like a really good setup, to be honest, and I don't regret doing anything here. So anyways, where that video left off, I stopped out here, and then this is what happened. So it ends up chopping around a bit at lunch, and then reclaiming VWAP and popping back up past that 180 mark. That was the top of the ascending triangle. At this point, I'm like, okay, this thing looks like it might want to rip. So what I do is I hop in for a long here. I bought 50 shares at 190 for a break over $2. So if you look here on the daily chart, $2 was resistance right here, and then the next obvious resistance spot was up here around 250. So that's why my goal was at 250. And this didn't really look like that big of resistance to me. $2 whole number with a few ticks here, but trust me, it was massive, massive resistance. So anyways, we hop in long here at 195. Oops. Right there, looking for a move over $2. We end up getting just to the high of day here and over it just a little bit, 205. I should have taken my profits at the high of day. That is something that I'm going to remember next time. Should have taken profits at the high of day, not expecting a move through. But yeah. So anyways, we get huge rejection from there, bit of a recovery, rejected more, and then I end up stopping out because I'm like, okay, so it's a double top. At this point, I realize that this whole pattern is really starting to look a whole lot like a cup and handle on a 5-minute chart, which is pretty damn bullish, which would have a targeted move on a cup and handle. If you can go like that, put that on top, that's going to lead you way up into 250 area. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I just got stopped out too early because now it's curling back up. So what I did is I waited for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, bought another 50 shares here, this time at 193. So I was like, okay, now for sure it's going to break $2. Like, look at this thing, right? It looks pretty damn bullish. And craps out again. So I stop out again for a 7-cent loss. 193, sold it at 188. So about, yeah, I don't know, like a 5-cent loss there. Just cutting these because I'm like, well, what is it doing if it's not pumping through? And you should have seen the tape. The tape, it would go green, 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 and then it would hit a level and just big flush down, a bunch of red sell orders. So that's why I think that somewhere around this 198 level, it was not acting like normal resistance. It was very weird. You can see it's still doing it. So then I'm like, okay, it's one of those scenarios where I have the right idea. I'm just messing up my entries. So we try again right here when I'm like, okay, it's really going to break out this time. I can see the volume. So I buy yet another. This time I actually go 100 shares. So now I'm starting to get a little bit dangerous. I'm starting to increase my position size on a trade that's not really working because I'm getting a little bit antsy and a little bit frustrated. So now I'm long 100 shares at $2, and it finally breaks above the high here at 205. What was the high of this candle? 206. So I take a little piece here. I sell half at 208, so a little 8-cent gain there. And then I'm like, okay, all right, we're finally breaking through the high. We're going to see some continuation up to 250. Look at the volume. It looks great. Just kidding. I stop out the other half at break even, and I'm done at this point. I'm frustrated. I don't understand why this one keeps having these fake out highs and then huge flushes back. And these flushes happened in a matter of seconds. So I stopped out there at 197. So pretty much break even on the other half of that, and I was done at that point. And as you can see, this thing continues up, makes yet another high of day here at 212. This previous candle was 210 on good volume spike, and then whoosh, big huge flush down. Like, I don't understand this stock at all. I guess it had like a trend line here or something. Both of these scenarios today, it's had a trend line, big crash, trend line, big crash. So I don't know if I'm just buying the tops or what. I don't know. This thing to me had very weird volume. You can see there's not even barely a single candle or a single row of like green candles. This thing was very choppy, and you can see just how hard it's flushing right now. Yeah, so gave back 15 on this one. That last little scalp there gave me some of my losses back, but as soon as I hit that last loss, I was like, dude, like this thing is just messed, and I'm not really sure how else I would have traded that. I thought that the original ascending triangle in the morning was an absolute A+ setup, and I was almost kicking myself for not risking more. Like this setup is just golden right here. I was almost kicking myself for not risking more during, but I'm glad I didn't in hindsight. This first trade was really good, the stop out below VWAP. And then here I was just really expecting a move up to 250 or something. Like it just, like what stock do you see that makes a higher high twice and then just gives you this kind of rejection? So weird action, that's all right. We got bit by the snake, but nothing too bad. I kept it under control. I didn't go full YOLO and just fight the thing. So I'm okay taking a $14 or $15 loss on this. Very weird action. I'm not going to rid myself of blame, but I'm just going to say that it is weird action on this ticker. And yeah, so that's it, guys. Down 14 today on a Monday. That's all right. I got a Bitcoin trade video coming, and also we got the whole rest of the week for some much better setups, hopefully. So that's all today, guys. Adios.